Hello everybody, welcome back to Sirdar Stitches. Hope you're all doing okay and have had a good week and weekend. It is Sunday lunchtime. Look at my phone. Yeah, well, Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock nearly. Hopefully this is working. I've had to attach it to this because it doesn't attach to my clothes very well. I need to work out how to do that. I didn't want to do the YouTuber thing and be like, I'm going to hold it like this constantly. Need to just put it there. So hopefully you can hear me. Okay. I have just a couple of bits of progress to show you this week. I've had no delivery because, as you know from watching my video last week, there was an unravel haul. So there have been no purchases this week, which is good to know. So I've got progress update on the Rainbow Toucan to show you, and also progress on the Sirdar Hearts and Flowers CAL. So I will show you that first. Also, for Rachel, who very kindly said hello at Unravel last week. I know you were asking about my Knit and Note, or my app that I use for my yarn stash. So at the end of this, I've got a video for you. I'll stick it at the end because then you guys can watch it as much or as little as you want. But I have recorded a video and talked you through the Knit and Note yarn stash app I use. So hopefully you'll find that useful. If you've got any questions, let me know, and then I can always do something for next week's video. Or also, if you download it, let me know how you get on, and if you find any extra areas of interest that I haven't found yet, because I haven't really explored it that much, I have to say. So let's start with the Rainbow Toucan progress, just to show you where I'm up to. So I'm going to bend forward, excuse the state of my hair. I did clean it, I have washed it, but look, it's just doesn't do what it wants to do. My fringe needs cutting again, so that's why it's too long. Anyway, digress. I have sewn together my bird, mostly. So the legs, the wings, and the tail are on. This wing is slightly in the way, but once I put it down, it's all right. So we are sewn together in the most part there. We also have a stuffed beak. I feel like the beak looks way too big. I mean, I know it's meant to be for this project, but this is just got wrapped around so I can sew. I feel like it's still massive. We do have some head pieces to make and so on, so whether that will help, but we are almost there. So yeah, I might try and get this finished so that I can take it to Q on Friday. Take my Toucan CAL with me. But yeah, we're not far off. I think we've only got little head pieces to make, and then that's pretty much it. I've just dropped him on the floor. So that is our Rainbow Toucan progress. I've still got like quite a lot of yarn left in this bag. This is a Hide and Hammer bag that I got from one of their Naughty Corner events. Being used at least. So that is Rainbow Toucan progress. Sirdar Hearts and Flowers Crochet Along. We are on week 3, came out on Wednesday, and you'll be pleased to know I'm still up to date. I know there's a few of you doing it. How are you getting on? Are you up to date? My initial granny squares were bigger than the tension. I didn't bother changing. I'm just running with it. If I run out of yarn, I'm just going to have to do a quick order for some. So this is my bag, my Wool Warehouse bag of yarn that came. So if I show you, I'm going to dig out where we're at and what we've done. So I don't think I showed you week, or did I show you last week? I can't remember. Anyway, we have, there you go, completed all the waves now on each of the panel pieces. So I do have 2 of these. So we sewed together the heart granny squares, and then we've added the stripes, the wavy stripes on top. There was a little element of frogging with some of these because it's quite an easy pattern to follow that I then just forgot to count, which is always helpful. But I think for the most part we're all good. And I think everybody else's common mistake is this top row is just all meant to be all trebles, no waviness. I think a lot of people forgot to read the pattern. As you can see, I haven't sewn in any ends. I have on the back, like there's no ends for the granny squares, but I haven't sewn in my ends from all my waves. So I do need to do that at some point. So this is week 2 completed, week 1 and week 2, obviously. because I've got two of these panels. Then I'm going to fold this up first. Otherwise, I just throw it in the bag. So that's all done for that. Then week 3 is back to granny squares, but we're doing different types of granny squares. So I have done my first 6. Again, I haven't sewn any ends on the back. Don't judge. So that was, here is our first 6. So let me hold it closer so you can see. A little flower granny square pattern. So you start with the center, you do this bit, and then what you end up doing is you end up crocheting into the back stitch to then join the cream and turn it into a granny square. Some of you might know that, but I've only ever done basic granny squares. I've never done anything like this, but you can, I'll show them back. You can kind of see on the back there where you've gone into the back of the stitch to then attach it and make it granny square. So yeah, I've never done them, so it was new on me, but that's our 6. Some people are having trouble with the tension on these not matching to the tension of this original one, because it's obviously supposed to be the same width. I have looked and mine looks about right by the time I sort of sew it together. Oh, it looks a little bit short if you can see at the bottom, but by the time I sort of stretch out the stitches and sew them, because I don't block anything, it should be fine. But I think some people were needing like an extra 1 or 2 granny squares because of the tension quoted in the pattern. But I think if you look at that, mine is about right. So at least I'm consistent. I'm consistently up on my tension, which I'm not normally. I'm normally about middle of the road. So anyway, that is section 1 of week 3. The next section I have done, so this is how I did them. I did an assembly line for these. I did all the flower bits first, and I've done the same. So we've done a different sort of flower, and I now need to join cream onto the back of that to do the same thing and turn it into a granny square. So I have 6 of these now ready to go, which is not bad going because I finished my waves on Wednesday evening. So the new pattern piece came out Wednesday morning, and then yeah, the granny squares I've been doing since then, and we're Sunday lunchtime ish. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I didn't really do anything last night. I did these last night, to be fair. Actually, I lie like a cheap watch. What film was that from? And that's not even right, is it? I lie like a cheap watch. Answers on a postcard there. I had to ask my friend. I keep quoting "I'm cold, I'm old," and I couldn't remember, and it's Joey and Friends. So yeah, that is ready. So we're not far off. So this feels less involved than the gingerbread cow. The gingerbread cow felt quite heavy for a 6-week crochet along at parts. The first week wasn't, but the rest of it was. Whereas this is feeling manageable for me. So yeah, we're doing okay. We're keeping up, which is the main thing. I'm throwing it all on the floor now. Sorry, you are at a weird angle today. I didn't bother to get all my stand equipment out. So I've got, so the pattern pieces, I think I said this last time, but for those of you doing it, you do need to be careful because there is, what they're doing is doing the UK and US pattern all in one. So you need to make sure you're following the you know, whichever, I'm following the UK part, but obviously if you're doing US style, you need to follow that. I just print out the ones that are applicable to me. There is, in this week's, I don't know if you haven't seen it on the Facebook group, if you're not on Facebook, they haven't actually sent out any email or any errata. So on this second flower, which is called the 3D flower granny square, round 4 has got the wrong stitch quoted. So I've written it in. So when it's telling you to do four trebles, it's actually 4 double trebles. Apparently the video is correct. I haven't really used the video for this one. I did for the gingerbread cow, but I haven't really for this because I've been able to work out the pattern myself. Wasn't the other one I couldn't. I think it was just slightly different techniques I wasn't used to. So be careful. Round 4 is double trebles. So these parts of the petals are double trebles, which is, as I say, correct in the video, but not correct in the pattern. The UK pattern, I don't know about the US one. I haven't actually looked, because that would be, so ours are the trebles, yours are single, so yours would be 4 double doubles, because your doubles are our trebles, if I've got that right. So 4 double doubles. Check your pattern round 4 of this 3D granny square, and if unsure, watch the video. I feel like that's the only mistake that we've had across so far with this. I haven't, or if there have been any others, I haven't been aware, and I've carried on. Yarn left over. Some is getting questionable. Some's up on my table because they're just literally little balls. But like my cream, I've got one. I do have another ball of cream, actually. I didn't realise that. So that's one ball of cream. Yeah, some of them are getting smaller now. Just trying to see what I've got left. So I've got 2 of the mauve. I did have 2. Oh, and I've got 2 of the deep rose, which I didn't realise. Okay. I'm hoping I'll be all right tension. I did have some left over from the gingerbread cow, so I'm hoping with the tension, even with mine being a bit bigger, I should be okay. But like, I mean, this is all, I've still got all of this left that you can see in here. So we're halfway through the crochet along, so I'm hopeful I'll be okay. But yeah, so we're doing well. We're keeping up. It's quite a straightforward one, I would say. Obviously, if you're a complete beginner to crochet, it's possibly not. But I'm finding this less involved than the gingerbread cow at Christmas. And this is only ever my second Sirdar crochet along, because I only found the gingerbread one and really wanted to do it. So yeah, they are good so far, that I've enjoyed them. They are working up nicely. I'll be pleased to see the end result, obviously, as one always is when you're doing this. I've got to sit and do ends, look. I do need to do that. I was good the first week, and then that's gone out the window. So I do need to weave in all these ends. That might be a job for next weekend. Does anybody want to weave in my ends for me? Please? Are you sure? So that is that. Yeah, sorry, I lost in a train of thought there of ends. Dreading the ends. So Sirdar Hearts and Flowers crochet along. I believe all warehouse still have kits if you're after the kit, which you get the crochet journal. I haven't been filling that in. And the little label with, I will show you that again in case you are joining us. So got it in my pack from Wool Warehouse. So you get a crochet along journal, which I think you can fit 4. I think you can actually fit 4 crochet alongs in here. And it says about tension, about hook size, crochet along details, so you can fill in when you started it, when you finished. I make notes. It's basically, this week I learned, this week I enjoyed. I haven't filled that in. But that is pattern shopping list at the back. And then you get the little label, which is not necessary, but it's nice to have because it has the year on it. So it says spring 2025. There you go, hearts and flowers in the same sort of theme as the pattern. So that's quite nice to sew on at the end, especially if you're gifting it and the person knows when it was made. So yeah, I think this was 30. I've paid 32 on Wool Warehouse because I had a discount code, but I think it was only 35 with free shipping. I think Sirdar charged 40 on their website. I don't know if they've got any left, but yeah, if you want to join in, the pattern pieces stay up on Sirdar. Like the gingerbread one is still there, and all the ones from last year, so you can go and find them. So you don't have to make this at the same time as everybody else, but they don't combine the pattern pieces. So the 6-week crochet along, you need to download all 6 weeks. Don't just download one, because they don't ever combine them. I've noticed. They just leave them as individual weeks. What else do I need to tell? So that's that. Toft are on Sewing Street on Monday, tomorrow. 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Looks like with some exclusive patterns for Mother's Day. There's a piece of toast on their Instagram. So it looks like they're doing some exclusive patterns for Sewing Street that may or may not come in a Toft update, possibly this week. They are bringing the 2 new colours that I would have shown you from Unravel, the apricot and the raspberry. We know peach is not coming until the birds book, so that's another couple of weeks, hopefully, before we get that. I'm at Q on Friday, so I'm there for the first Toft crochet workshop of this year. So I will obviously do some video and footage and get that for you for next week, so you can see, and obviously see what the make is. If you ever want to see advance of my video, excuse the motorbike, I will likely post pictures on my Instagram of the day and what the make is, so you can always see that if you want little spoilers. But obviously, if you like listening to my dulcet tones, you'll get a video next weekend of that. We're going, it's the Orchid Festival, so we're getting entry to the orchids afterwards, so that will be interesting. I've never done that. Most of the time I normally just leg it off, but also it's a Friday, so I haven't got to rush so much because it's not like I've got work or anything the next day, so if I'm back a bit later. Although I think I have booked into my Pilates class, so I might need to be careful with that. Suddenly remembered that. So yeah, I'm still waiting on my Folk Yarn Studio order, which was my Doctor Who Time Lord set. I basically bought an Advent after Advent. She re-dyed them. Sorry, I say she. I always sound rude saying that. Folk Yarn Studio re-dyed them. So I'm waiting for that. I'm hopeful that's coming in the next couple of weeks because I think it was about a 6-week pre-order, and I've put in my phone around the 1st of March. So hopefully we might get dispatch for that this week. I skipped the latest Curate crochet box just to let you know. It wasn't really one for me. It was, I'm not going to say in case some of you like the surprise, but go have a look if you don't. It was not something that I was particularly going to be in the view of making of, so I skipped it, which is why I love Curate crochet box, because I can skip. Trying to think what else. I think that's it really. I'm just working through this at the moment, so I'm going to spend the rest of my day doing that. You will have the video in a second for knit and note, so I hope you found that useful. If you want me to walk through any other things a bit like that, it's the first time I realised I can screen record and do a voiceover at the same time, so you know, every day's a school day. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoy that. As promised, I'll do a Q video after Friday, and yeah, I'll update you on week 4 we'll get to on Wednesday with this crochet along. We're getting there, so you know, it's nice. It's a good one. It's an easygoing one, but it's not too taxing. So right, I'm going to stop waffling, let you watch the knit and note video, and then that will be the end when you get to the end of that. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye. So this is the Knit and Note app that I use for recording my crochet stash, because Rachel, you were asking about this and I promised a video. So I'll show you the app what it looks like. So this is what it looks like with the little icon when you click in and it brings you in. You can create a log on, or I've already logged in to mine. So yeah, you create a log on and go in and do it that way, or you can use like Apple or Android, etc., whatever you use there. And I probably don't use this to its full ability for what it's intended for. You can sign up to premium, so you can get access to patterns. I think you get a shop discount. So this is the home screen, as you can see here. It's got, you can list out active projects in here. Trending patterns, video tutorials. I'm going to click on the shop logo, so it's upgrading to premium to get 15% off. It is all in dollars, so it's a US based app. I do believe you can order to the UK though, but here you go, so you can see there's yarn for sale, etc. All sorts, but you'll see like needle stoppers and things. It's more orientated towards knitters. But yeah, and then we have library, which they have patterns within the library. which I think if you're a premium member are possibly free or you reduced price. So you've got different designers across the top here you can search for, different patterns, and then you can filter by categories. I'm not sure, I've never actually had a look to see, let me scroll up a bit quick, if there's any crochet. I mean, you can see all the different designers listed here, so there's quite a lot. There's a community tab, which I am not linked up to, so you can obviously link to users, or if you, I guess if you follow pattern designers, etc., you can use that and see when new things come up. But all I ever use is this stash and tools down at the bottom. So this is where this is everything I use. I haven't created projects, so you can click in here if it's going to load. I'm possibly going to break it by trying to do this, but you can click in, and I think you can build your own projects. And then you can log what yarn quantities you're using, etc. Yeah, it's not going to like it, so let me just force quit that and go back in. Click back in again. I'll try it again at the end to see, and if not, I'll just cut this video short. There's patterns, yarn stash, needle stash, stats. A lot of these are to do with premium membership. That's something new that came in. This app didn't have any sort of membership originally, and it doesn't for what I use it for. I don't pay, but there is now the option to increase. You've got things like a ruler, you can go in and do a yarn calculator, but I go in here, yarn stash, and look, it comes time to restock your yarn. Definitely not. So that's like the odd ad that appears in here. So as you can see at the top, I'm laughing, it summarises how many grams I've got in my stash and how many meters. So in case you ever wanted to know exactly how much you've got, which is concerning sometimes, that is in the top there. And then all of these I've added myself, so you add them in. So you go in and you can add in, they all say DK because I'm a DK girl. And then they've got the brand within them. So you can see there we've got Apex Yarn, Boney Yarns, Bow Fiddle by Miss Bees. So it will list out. So I'll just scroll down so you can see all of that. So these are all the different brands that I've logged and registered in my app that I've got stashed for. As you can see, some have got more than others. All the different things in, all the lists, and it's in alphabetical order, but obviously they're all DK apart from this Aaron one for WK. But then there you can see we've got T, W, Y, so it's all in alphabetical. So I'm going to go, for example, because we know I love a good bit of Siobhan's Crafts, I'm going to go in there because you can see I've got 9,100 grams. And if I expand down, and it will load, hopefully. It's not going to load my there you go, they've just loaded the pictures. So you can see this is where I will take a picture and I'll put in the name and how many grams I've got of that particular yarn. So you can click on it and get the information, so you can see how many grams, what the colour name is. You can't enlarge the picture, slightly annoyingly, but you can literally scroll down and see. Some of these I've got 3.0 and 1.0 because Siobhan she repeated the colour, but it was slightly different. So these are all I mean, that one itself is Disney Villains Club. I've got most of the Disney Villains Club there from 2021. But you literally will take a picture. You can log in and load how much you've got. Like this one, I've got 200 grams of it because I've found 2 skeins. As you use them, I don't tend to, there's no like tick box to say you've used it. So I end up having to delete. Which gets your stash down, obviously, but there's no sort of tick to say I have used this, I no longer have it. So I will show you, for example, so there's the plus button here at the bottom. So you can add in this is where you type to add in a brand. So you would type in your name of, I don't know, who have I not bought from? Let's just put Stylecraft in here for an example, because I've only got my hand dyes in here. I don't have any generic brands, if that makes sense. Type, I put DK in here. Weight normally is 100 grams per skein if you know it's from a regular supplier. Length per skein, I think 212 or 225 is normally the average for a hand dye. Blend, I manually again put that in myself, so I normally put superwash 75, and then I do I'm not very good on my iPad. I'm doing this on my iPad. 75, and then I do nylon 25, for example. So you can do the makeup. Gauge, now this I think is all to do with knitting, so you knitters going to have to tell me here because I don't know what this means. So I just scroll to the bottom and I select other, and then I type in DK. For me, I use it how you can type over these, so I use it how I want to. And then if you have any notes, so you hit save, then you can immediately add in a colour. So I can put black, for example, 100 grams, and hit save. And now if we scroll down to the S's, we should see, there we go, Stylecraft, one colour, black. You can then add in the brand pictures. So by doing that, you can click on here and add new picture. So you can either upload or take a picture of the label, etc. So you can do that and add a picture to the actual brand. So you can see, like mine have all got the brand logos where I've sort of either taken a bodged picture or managed to sort of download it from their website, take a screenshot and use it so I can see. And then you can just keep adding new colours. So you can add yellow, 100 grams, and hit save. And then you go, it's added it in, and then you can, you get the picture. You can just keep adding red, 400 grams, and save. And then there you go. You've got all of your new ones, and you can click and add your picture from your photo library or a file, etc. So I do this with any time now. Obviously I didn't have this app from the start, so I had to sit and go through my entire stash. So I did do it when I was starting to vacuum seal. I did do it a bit before that actually as well, in fairness. But now what I do is each time a new hand dye skein comes in, I will take a picture and I will upload it into here. So for example, my Pixie, I need to go up, don't know my alphabet, Pixie yarn that I bought at Unravel, if you've watched my video last week. So I've already entered that in. Yeah, so you can see what I've put in there. And then if I expand down, you can see there is my yarn that I purchased at Unravel. So it is, if you've already got a large stash, it is going to be a mean feat. I won't lie to you. It took me quite some time to take photos and upload them in. But if you're starting afresh now, or you want to start to log everything, then it's you just, as soon as something comes in, take a picture, upload it into this, and you're keeping track of your stash. So I'm going to go in and hopefully I can delete this now. As you sure you want to delete? Yes, I do. So Stylecraft is now gone. So it's a case of you can just do that on, so you wouldn't do it at the top level. So if you've used a skein, for example, you would go in and you'd click on a particular skein and delete it, not the entire company. So obviously that deleted all of the Stylecraft that I had just logged. But if you want to do a skein at a time, you need to make sure you click in and delete the individual records. But that is how I use it. And then, it's quite scary when you see at the top here your grams and meters. So that is knit and note. Let me have a look. I'll quickly click on the projects and see if it loads. It might not. It's still quite an early stage app, this, so it's had quite a few improvements. I did have a yarn stash app that I used previously. It might still be on here actually, but I didn't get on with it very well. I couldn't categorize things very well. I found it quite labor intensive when I was filling it in, whereas this I find more straightforward. Oh, there you go. Look, projects is loaded now. So I've got no active projects. You can plan one, but obviously it might be by the plus down here. Let's have a look. There you go. Oh, no, thank you. Project name, so you can plan a new project. Completed. I'm guessing. Let's add one. Let's try. Cardigan. Let's just add that. If I could spell cardigan. There you go. Create. Add a pattern. There you go. Add yarn. So, oh look, get from yarn stash. So if we go there you go. Look, so you can pick what colours. I've not used this yet, so this is new on me. So there you go. So you can go down and pick the colours you want to use and add them in. Add row counter. So that is more knit, isn't it? Row counter. Start project complete. So you can use this as a record as well when you've started something completed. So it might be good for whips and things as well. And if we go out now, look, you can see planned. I haven't started it yet, so that's probably why it's not inactive. So there you go. You can do things like that. I'm guessing if I do the 3 dots, delete project, or you can duplicate if you want to remake it. There you go. So yeah, there is functions in here that I probably haven't used, as well as this app should be being used for. See, it does sometimes, the apps, they're not annoying in the sense they constantly pop up, but when you click into a new menu, they'll pop up. There you go, add your own categories. And you can create, there you go, pattern lists. Yeah, so there you go. Stats, I wonder what's in there. Oh, so that's about what you've used. So I think the skeins used will only be deducted off if you actually plug them into a pattern, which is not how I've been using this app. So had I been, I could then be like, okay, right, I've used a skein, and it would count them up there. So there you go. I'm not using it as effectively as I should. But if you plan a project, allocate your skeins, it will then use them once you've completed it. So yeah, that is knit and note for you. So yeah, knit and note. You have to write, so it's got an ampersand here, the and sign, but when you type it into App Store, it is knit and note with the word and. If I show you quickly in the App Store, oh, where did I search in here? So you can see it. This is obviously in Apple App Store, but I'm guessing it's available on Google. Oh, I've put Knit App Store there. Knit and, there you go. So it's all one word, knit and note. And it's this one here that says open on the right of my screen. So you can see it's knit and note knitting app. So that is what you're searching for, either on Android or on Apple Store. Yeah, hope you found that useful. Hope I didn't go through it too quickly. If you want me to cover anything else again with that, do let me know. But yeah, let me know if you download it and how you get on with it, because you might find extra features that I haven't come across yet or haven't used. So yeah, let me know how you get on.